Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will be finishing Tetro Pink's third chapter, as we just have the trial left and whatever else happens after the trial. I'm kind of excited. I have been dying to kind of see its conclusion, as chapter 4 is nearly finished, all uploaded, so yeah. I'm hoping that by next week I'll probably be able to start the fourth chapter. But in case you also do not know, that I'm doing Danganronpa Aftermath's prologue and other character introduction stuff tomorrow, as that's what I got recommended as well. Oh, it's this Friday. Okay, yeah, so I'll be able to start next week. Alright. Let's see what happens. Let's see who done it.
Okay, before we start any sort of discussion, there's one thing I want to sort out right away.
Is it the fact that Hanono got stabbed?
No, it's the double murder. 2 people got killed, right? That means we could potentially have 2 killers. So then what?
The class trial is very divisive. Okay, so I guess they're kind of trying to figure out if there was 2 killers or if Suno and Kamimura were killed by one person.
Do we die no matter what?
Oh, no, wait. No, I misread it. Oh. I really like the background gradient. Yeah, it's nice for this chapter. Sorry, I realized what they were doing. I just spoke too soon. Right.
We can only vote one person.
That's honestly a good question. Monomoko?
In the event that 2 students commit 2 separate murders during the same case period, the second murder will be disregarded.
Disregarded?
Discounted. Only the first blackened will be eligible for escape. The second blackened will be considered innocent.
So we'd only have to figure out who killed Kamimura.
That is correct.
And then what? The second killer just gets to stick around?
That is correct.
But that's so messed up.
Regardless, that is how the situation would be handled.
The first thing they have to do is like I said, figure out if there is genuinely 2 killers or if they're both killed by the same person, which I believe they were both killed by the same person, because that's usually what happens.
Good to know. So anyways, back to what you were saying about Okazaki being stabbed.
Yeah, that. Wada stabbed Hanano.
I mean, frankly, I think it's pretty clear that Wada did this entire thing.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you just stabbed Okazaki. What
No.
were you trying to do if not kill her?
I was trying to kill her. It was an accident.
It wasn't an accident. You told me you were going to stab me, then you stabbed me.
Because you wouldn't back off and give him space. You're missing that big piece. You're leaving that bit of important information out. Sorry.
But you... that's not fair.
I don't think it gets more intentional than that.
Don't even fucking start. You know what you did.
Well, I don't know what she did, so can we actually say what she did instead of just dancing around it?
She beat the shit out of Wada.
What?
She...
She broke his fucking ribs. She tried to fucking kill him. If he stabbed her, she deserved it.
Wada, what is she talking about? What did you tell her?
I didn't. I didn't.
Leave him alone. I'm serious. Stop.
I just want to know what he told Hayashi, since I really don't know what he's talking about.
Yes, you do, Hanano.
Hanano? What are they talking about?
Well,
You caught him alone in the computer lab and you kicked the shit out of him.
I didn't.
I mean, why else would he stab her, though?
She did lock him in a bathroom, right?
And the server room.
So I mean, it's on brand for her.
I've seen the bruises. She hurt him.
I didn't.
Is that your only defense?
He stabbed her because she was a fucking threat to him. I'd have stabbed her too if it had been me.
So it's okay to attempt to murder me just because you find me threatening?
You tried to kill him.
I didn't. Regardless of whether or not I hurt him, I never tried to kill him. Kicking someone to death? That seems kind of ridiculous.
But it can happen.
Why would you attack him?
Huh?
He was a member of the staff. He's my friend. You're my friend. Why would you? Hanano, I told you to leave him alone.
You told me that after I visited Wada, though.
So then you admit you kicked the crap out of him.
Visited? I said I visited.
Why is this the hill you want to die on? Nobody even believes you!
Okay, ignoring whatever the hell Okazaki is saying, can we all agree that she attacked Wada?
There's a blood stain in the computer lab to prove it. I believe him.
I believe him too.
I believe him.
I believe him as well.
Yes, because
I actually treated his injuries at the time.
big comment. If you don't know the sequel to Tetro Pink, Tetro Danganronpa Blue is almost finished and currently in post-production. Oh, and Tetro Danganronpa White is currently in development. White will be the final one of the trilogy. Oh, I didn't know they're making more. I thought Pink was the only one.
I confirmed his ribs were fractured.
Why didn't any of you say anything? Why didn't Wada say anything?
Because
Okazaki told me not to.
Hanano! I don't care! I don't care that you were experimenting or trying to figure something out or testing something. I don't care. Leave him alone. Seriously, this is an order from the headmaster.
Right.
So we can establish that Wada was acting in self-defense then.
That doesn't necessarily mean he's innocent, though. I think we should talk about the note.
Hold on. I don't know anything about that note. I want to know what it says just as much as anyone else does.
Note? What note?
We found a note from Wada in Hasegawa's room.
I never got any note. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So, you don't know what they're talking about either? I never wrote a note.
What does the note even say?
Yada yada, something about how if Hasegawa didn't kill Okazaki, then Wada would kill Kamimura. It was super fake. Evidenced by the fact that neither of them know what the hell I'm talking about.
I would never write that.
And I never saw it, so even if he did write it, it wouldn't matter.
I mean, Wada wouldn't kill Suno, though, right?
I mean, I find it kind of hard to believe he could even overpower Kamimura.
Anyone could overpower Kamimura. He's weak. He's kind of known for it.
Shut up.
Huh?
Don't talk about him like that. He wasn't weak.
Can I see the note?
Here.
This definitely isn't my printing. I didn't write this.
And it's definitely handwritten? They didn't just type it up and print it out?
No, it's for sure handwritten. But I'm not the one who hand wrote it.
Then who did?
Obviously someone trying to frame him.
Hold on, I'm not sold yet. What about the saw?
I still don't even know what you're talking about. I haven't been in my room since this morning. I haven't seen any of this stuff.
We did find a saw in Wada's room, admittedly. One of the hand saws from the wood shop.
There was blood on it. Unless the killer's getting blood from somewhere else, it's probably safe to assume that's the murder weapon.
But I never had a saw!
Then how'd you end up with a saw in your room?
I have no idea. But even if it had been me, I would have never just left a saw in my room like that. I searched
that's pretty obvious.
dorms when Suno and Isano died. I know they get searched. So why would I just leave evidence out in the open like that? You'd definitely find it.
I guess that checks out. Not exactly airtight, but plausible at the very least.
Hold on a minute. I'm not ready to move off of Wada yet. This is all just way too weird. The note, the saw, plus he was the only one who saw Suno die? I'm calling bull. He's gotta be involved somehow.
I would never hurt Suno.
We've been over this so many times now. That's not a defense.
But I wouldn't. I swear I would never hurt her. I wouldn't hurt Suno.
Yeah, I feel like I said this before. I don't actually remember if I said this in stream. No, wait. The fact that he could have prevented, if he knew about the trap, he was the one who said it, he could have saved Suno's life. He could have probably just get her to walk away from the door. I don't think he would directly go for Suna if the trap was made by him. So, just why?
Whoa, okay, breathe, kid.
But you're accusing me of something I didn't do. I didn't hurt her. I would never do that.
I believe you, for sure. We just gotta clear your name first, though. So breathe for a minute, and just tell the truth.
Right.
Did you find anything else in his room?
The key?
Oh, right, yeah, this one's kind of weird. We found another room key.
What? How?
It's not a regular room key, though. Here, take a look.
Why is it blue?
Why is it plastic?
That's not plastic. It's resin.
He's right. That's the resin we've got in the 3D printer.
3D printer? We've got a 3D printer?
What even is that?
Exactly what it sounds like, Tamba.
It's a printer used to print 3D objects. Like this. Someone printed it.
What does it even unlock?
Well, from our experience, Kamimura's bedroom door.
What?
Someone cloned his key?
Yeah, I kind of actually forgot about that. How'd they get his key, though, in the first place? I wonder.
Wait, but the 3D printer isn't even working. I've been trying to make it run for, a couple days now? It was broken.
Then why was the printed key in your room?
I honestly don't know. I swear I don't know.
So what did they use it for anyway? Breaking into Kamimura's room?
Could Kazutoshi have printed it himself?
Why would he?
I mean, he was having trouble getting into his room earlier, right?
Whoever printed it would have needed a copy of his room key to model it off of. It's possible, but, nobody else had his key. Right?
His key was missing for, all of yesterday.
Okay, so it is
Does
missing.
that mean someone stole it?
Hold up. Sorry. Pop-up notification.
I mean, if they wanted to copy his key, that would make sense.
Wouldn't be the first time that something in here has gone spontaneously missing.
No kidding.
So you think they swiped his key and cloned it with the 3D printer?
But I couldn't have done that. I was in my room all day. I didn't see Kamimura at all.
That checks out.
Sorry.
I was with Kazutoshi. We didn't see Wada at all.
Then let's hear your whole alibi.
Huh?
If nobody saw you, I want to know your full alibi.
Or when?
Yesterday. When his key went missing.
I was in my room.
That's not an alibi!
It's where I was.
Well, what about this morning? They killed him this morning, right? So where were you?
In my room.
Well, no, you came out for a sec, right? For breakfast.
Oh, yeah, I did.
And here come the holes in your story.
No, I just forgot. I went to the kitchen for breakfast and then I went straight back to my room.
Straight back?
I went to the bathroom on my way back, but that was it.
Did you go to the bathroom? Or did you go to Kamimura's room?
I went to the bathroom. I swear I did.
He did. I can confirm. I was patrolling. I saw him go in.
Can also confirm.
Why can you confirm?
I asked him to wait outside.
What?
He didn't want fucking Okazaki messing with him again, so I waited outside. It's not that big of a deal. I was just helping out.
Seriously? You need him to wait outside the bathroom for you?
Why are you so invested in it, weirdo?
I'm not! I'm mocking him! God!
Well, either way, we can be sure he just went to the bathroom and went back to his room, right?
I guess. 2 witnesses? I guess that makes it a pretty solid alibi.
Then it can't be Wada, right? Since he has an alibi for the time Kamimura should have been getting murdered.
You're sure he went back to his room, though? He didn't go kill Kamimura and drag him upstairs to the art supply room?
Actually, hold on.
Would he even have the strength to do that?
How did Kazutoshi even get up to the art room in the first
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
place?
What do you mean?
Well, did he walk?
Wasn't he already dead?
Was he?
No way. He definitely died in the art supply room.
What makes you so sure?
I mean, aside from the fact that we had signs of struggle in his room, there
Oh,
was way
yeah.
too much blood in the art supply room to think he could have died anywhere else.
We did find a knife in his room, though. A bloody one.
Wait, okay, so let's say they brought him up to the art supply room alive. How? Somebody should have seen him, right?
What if they covered him up with some sort of sheet?
Someone still would have seen that.
What about a container of some kind?
What, like one of the big plastic bins from the storage room?
That would work, yeah.
But we didn't find one of those anywhere.
I mean, either way, I don't know if Wada could even carry Kamimura up to the art supply room.
That's a good point, actually.
I mean, Kamimura's not that heavy.
Well, Wada's not that strong.
Kazutoshi's really thin. I doubt he weighs much anyway.
Yeah, but if he was all wrapped up in a sheet or stuffed in a bin or something, I mean, he's taller than Wada, right? It'd be a bit unwieldy.
He's not that much taller than him.
He's still bigger than Wada, though. Carrying around someone bigger than you isn't all that easy, especially if you're carrying them up a flight of stairs.
Look, I don't know if Wada's 100% innocent or anything yet, but I don't think it's exactly productive to keep focusing exclusively on him.
Yeah.
He's got an alibi for the morning anyway, right? And Watori's right. There's no way he carried Kamimura up the stairs without getting spotted. I think we can put a pin in this.
Then maybe we should look on the other side of that note?
What?
Well, the note was meant to incriminate Wada, right? But Hasegawa's the only one who had access to his own room. He could have planted it there pretty easily. Not to mention all the access he had to Kamimura.
What?
He couldn't be it because he was the one who discovered the body. So it would make sense that he would somehow have done it. Hopefully someone mentions that. I'm sure they will.
You had access to Kamimura, right? I mean, you were always with him, weren't you?
What the hell are you saying?
I'm saying that we should turn our suspicions towards you.
That doesn't even make sense. Why would I write a note that would incriminate myself? If I left that note in my room, it would make it look like I did something. Besides, the note said I had to kill you, right? So how would it even make sense for me to have killed Kazutoshi and Tsuno? That's stupid.
Either way, I'm grateful that you chose not to kill me, Hasegawa. Even if Wada feels differently.
I mean, if anyone could have gotten Kamimura's key, though.
Are you serious?
He wouldn't do that.
This is getting really, really old. From this point on, I want to officially bar the use of "they'd never do that" or "I couldn't kill them" or anything like that as a defense. That's not a defense. Kamimura said it himself, right? So we should at least respect that during his trial. Plus, it's just annoying.
He did have the quickest access to Toshi, though.
He could have pretty easily gotten into Kamimura's room.
Except that I couldn't, because we didn't have his key.
But there was the fake key, though, right?
Which someone cloned with the real key, which Hasegawa could have stolen pretty easily, since they're always together.
I wouldn't! Don't! We're banning that, remember?
Plus, I mean, you know more about Kamimura than anyone else, right? You're the only one here who knows about all his weird health stuff. You'd know his weak points.
Weak points? It's not like he's a final boss or something.
No, but like, you know what I mean. He'd know how to exploit them.
That would be seriously messed up, though.
And you were in the library when he died, right, Hasegawa? Right across the hall? All alone? That's a pretty flimsy alibi.
Did anyone else see you there?
So here's my theory then. Hasegawa took Kamimura's key yesterday when they were alone together, which is all the time, and then copied it with a 3D printer.
Fuck off.
Hasegawa's bright, so I don't really believe that he wouldn't know how to get it working, even if Wada said it was broken. He clones the key, gives Kamimura the real one, then uses the fake one to break into his room. He brings him upstairs, then he kills him.
That's not...
Or maybe the key was just so he could get into Kamimura's room again later. To tamper with the crime scene, I mean. Nobody would think anything weird of Hasegawa and Kamimura walking down the hall together, right? So maybe that's how he got Kamimura upstairs. They just walked together. Then he killed him.
I didn't do that! The last time I even saw him was at breakfast. I went and took a shower after that.
But even so, you still...
Stop talking like you know me. Or him, for that matter. You don't know shit about either of us.
But I'm your therapist.
No, Okazaki, you're not. And you don't know anything about what happened. So stop making stupid guesses based on nothing.
But they're not based on nothing. They make sense.
I wouldn't hurt him. I would never do that.
Tisk. We're not doing this again.
But I wouldn't. The fact that you even suggest that I would do something like target his weak points? What are you even talking about? I did more to protect him than any of you. I took a brand for him. Why are we looking at me and not the person who punished him in the decision game? Why are we looking at me and not the people with no alibis? We're wasting time. I didn't do it.
Jesus Christ, relax.
No!
Hasegawa, breathe.
If you're done with your little outburst, I think it's worth noting that on top of everything else, you're the one who found the body. That's somewhat strange in and of itself.
Oh, wait, that's right. Hasegawa found the body.
Exactly.
So it couldn't have been him.
Huh?
When you found the body, the announcement played. Right, Hasegawa?
That's right.
So he couldn't be guilty. The announcement doesn't play when the killer finds the body.
What? Says who?
Says basic common sense. If it played when the killer found the body, it wouldn't have played when Hama found Chiba, or when everyone found Isano. It would have played when they died, since the killer would have been right there.
So then, if Hasegawa found the body, he has to be innocent?
He has to be.
Yeah.
Monomoko, is that really how it works?
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to discuss the mechanics of the body discovery announcement.
What? That's so unfair. Tell us.
I will not.
We don't need it to tell us. That's clearly how it works.
It does make sense.
Then he's innocent. You hear that? You're cleared.
I am?
Of Kamimura's death, at least. Suno's is still up in the air.
I discovered Suno's body.
So, at the very least, we know Hasegawa didn't kill Toshi and Wada didn't kill Suno. That's a start.
Not exactly a great start.
Yeah.
Probably could have guessed
Something
that.
at least.
Nah, I knew they were both innocent the whole time. We've pretty much made no progress.
God. What the hell? Why would somebody... He didn't do anything. Why would somebody... Why did it have to be like that?
What do you mean?
Why did they have to trash his room? Why did they have to cut out his tongue? Why did they have to try and hurt him as badly as they could? Why would somebody do that? He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
Hey, yeah, hold on a minute. Can we talk about that? They cut out his tongue?
Oh, yeah.
I'll admit I'm somewhat unfamiliar with the state of the body myself. I didn't actually see it.
I didn't see it either.
I'm pretty sure a bunch of us didn't see it.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the body a bit? Everyone should be on the same page about what happened.
Yeah, sure. I can give you the rundown.
You? I thought Hama and Watari investigated the body.
They, required assistance.
The infernal energy coming out of that room was disrupting my arm's structural integrity. I couldn't investigate. Not my fault.
Yeah, the demon waves coming off of the body were making me itchy.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
Shut up. Point is, I investigated the body.
Then, could you tell us about it?
I mean, first and foremost, obvious point, he was decapitated. Shut up. They cut his head off and hid it in... Where did you say?
Under the shelf.
They shoved it under the shelf. When I actually took a look at it, though, he had a couple stab wounds to the face.
Oh.
Pretty small ones.
I missed that.
Honestly, a lot of the stab wounds are pretty small. That lines up with the knife we found in Kamimura's room. It was a wood knife. You know, like for carving.
It's a rather small blade, but they definitely could have found it rather easily in the woodshop.
A few stab wounds to the face, mostly the cheek and around the eyes. No sign of blunt force trauma or any other damage to his actual head, but his tongue was missing. We never actually found it.
Oh my god. I'm gonna throw up.
Don't.
It doesn't get better from here.
Maybe you should stop?
Don't. Keep talking. It's important.
Huh. Look at you. Anyway, yeah, we never did find his tongue. Did anybody else spot it?
Didn't find a thing.
Nor did I.
We didn't find it either.
Damn. No idea where it went then, but yeah. There were more...
Fun fact, Hayashi's VA is actually the creator of Von Babbitt. Huh. I didn't know.
stab wounds on the rest of his body, all the same size. I'm definitely putting my money on that wood knife.
Where was he? I know he was in the art supply room, but like, where?
He was tied to a chair in the middle of the room.
What? Ew.
That's the part that disturbs you?
It all disturbs me, but like, what the hell was the point? He wasn't exactly gonna run off.
They tied him up with a sweater and his hoodie. Not like that's exactly super secure either way. The sweater was around the middle of his torso, the hoodie was binding his hands behind his back, nothing securing his legs.
Was that all? No other wounds?
Yeah, I wish. Yeah. I noticed that the stab wounds went through his shirt, so I went to see if there were any wounds I was missing underneath. Lifted his shirt, found a huge gaping wound in his stomach.
What?
Yeah, they gutted him. His abdomen was just open.
Like, with guts coming out?
Yeah, that's what open means. They cut him open. The wound was pretty grisly too. Definitely not clean, so they probably used the saw again.
She could find a good VA for her, so she decided to voice her herself. Ah, interesting. A little off topic, but my own Fangan was originally going to be made on a video game called Little Big Planet 3. I was actually going to voice at least 3 of the characters of my Fangan. Initially, because I couldn't find voices for them. I actually have a little voice reel that is available on my YouTube page. And it gives you an example of how the characters were possibly going to sound like, although the mic quality is shit, because I didn't have a really good mic. Because it was like a PS3 one that worked with the PS4 as well. You know, it's rambling.
That one didn't go through his shirt.
Hold on. Stop for a sec. Ken's not looking too good.
Hasegawa?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh no.
We need to keep going. There's still more shit to talk about.
Right. Keep going.
We found a couple of other wounds on his inner thigh. They didn't look very new, though.
What kind of wounds?
Wait.
Just a bunch of cuts. They were about mid-thigh, either leg. Not that big.
That's unrelated.
How would you know?
Can we move on?
We need to explore every possibility, unless you have a reason why we shouldn't.
Because it's private.
I mean, she does have a point, though. We need to...
So what? He's a cutter?
What? Hiroaki!
Don't say it like
No,
that.
I'm serious. That's what you're getting at, right? He's a cutter. That's what they're from.
Yeah.
Then it's completely unrelated and we can move on. See how easy that was? Just say stuff. He's not even here to get mad at you.
Wait, so...
We already figured it out. We have zero reason to get sidetracked by this. Hayashi, keep going.
Right. Well, since he had a bunch of stab wounds going through his shirt, I wanted to see if they went through the hoodies too. We untied him and took a look. Totally intact. No holes.
So they must have already been off his body when the killer started stabbing him.
Then he was already tied up?
Probably, yeah. That's what it looked like to me, at least. They tied him up before they started stabbing.
If they took his clothes off before they started attacking him, I'd say he was definitely unconscious. Or at least incapacitated. He would never have tolerated that.
Well, the weird part is, the bloodstains on the hoodie were kind of off. There was blood where I'd expect there to be blood, but there were a few smudges of blood, plus some prints. I don't know why they'd be handling the hoodie after they'd already killed him.
That's definitely weird. Yeah. It's not like they untied him, right?
Definitely not.
Wait, but if Kamimura was unconscious, then I still gotta know. How'd they get him up to the art room?
Is it possible that he was awake before they reached the art supply room? And only rendered unconscious after they arrived?
What could knock him out that fast, though?
Bump him on the head.
They didn't bop him on the head. Hayashi already said there were no signs of blunt force trauma.
We're overthinking this. He passes out when his heart rate spikes.
Right.
They probably just scared him. He was constantly on edge anyway. It wouldn't take much.
His room was a mess, though. There were definitely signs of a struggle. That makes me think he didn't go down all that easy.
I mean, yeah, but is that even possible? Like, could he struggle? He couldn't struggle that hard, right?
I mean, yeah. That doesn't really make a ton of sense. We've seen the kind of stuff that knocks. Yeah.
Could he struggle? He couldn't struggle that hard,
Sorry.
right?
I mean, yeah. That doesn't really make a ton of sense. We've seen the kind of stuff that knocks him out. It doesn't take a lot. If he got in an actual honest-to-God fight with someone, I feel like he wouldn't be able to struggle all that hard.
Then, what if he didn't struggle? What if the killer faked the struggle to make us think he'd gone upstairs conscious?
Oh,
A
that's a
fake
good
struggle would
point.
still have implied he went upstairs incapacitated. It would be strange for him to struggle and then go up willingly.
Well, yeah, but maybe the killer wanted us to think that they actually fought him and didn't just bop him on the head.
He wasn't bopped.
Yeah, there's no blunt force to the head.
We've established that.
Then maybe the way they knocked him out is important.
It's gotta be, if they wanted to cover it up that badly.
If they really did just utilize his condition, I doubt they'd want to cover it up that badly.
It doesn't matter. His cataplectic episodes only last a couple of seconds. That wouldn't be nearly enough time to conceal him and bring him all the way upstairs, then tie him up. It has to be something else.
But then, what about a sedative?
A sedative? Like poison?
Yeah, something to make him fall asleep. Then they'd have enough time to get him upstairs.
Do we have anything like that?
I was in the med bay for like 2 days. I didn't see a single person come in and steal any sedatives.
Nor did I. But what about the chemistry lab?
Oh.
The chem lab. That's...
I can definitely see that being the case.
Who investigated the chem lab, though?
I did.
I feel like letting you run around the chem lab is like a lab safety violation or something.
Maybe. But I did notice something while I was there. We were missing a few bottles.
Multiple. What exactly were we missing?
Well, I know we were missing flunitrazepam because I was keeping an eye on it.
What?
Rohypnol.
Roofies. What? We had roofies?
We did, but that seemed rather dangerous, so I was keeping an eye on them. When I investigated earlier, the bottle was gone.
They roofied him?
Well, potentially, but
Ooh.
we were also missing a bottle of something a bit more insidious.
Huh?
Cyanide.
Ooh.
We had cyanide?
Yeah, we did.
You knew? And you didn't think to tell anyone that?
Kazutoshi said we should keep it a secret. If people knew we had it, they might try to use it, and
they totally did use it.
Yeah,
I bet the
it was
guy was dead
insane.
before they even brought him upstairs. All they'd have to do is poison him and haul him up.
He had to have been alive. You saw how much blood there was. Dead people don't bleed like that.
I mean, there still would have been a ton of blood even if he was dead, right? They cut his damn head off. Your blood doesn't just disappear when you die.
I also fail to see why they'd remove his tongue if he was already dead. I'd assume it was to keep him quiet.
That does seem to make sense, yeah.
So, they cut out his tongue so that he couldn't start screaming if he woke up early?
That makes sense.
Then yeah, he was probably still alive. Right?
We're just assuming that's why they cut his tongue out, though. Maybe they just wanted to fuck him up. I mean, they had no reason to cut his head off, right? Or cut his stomach open. Maybe they're just kinda sick.
That's also true.
So maybe they just took his tongue as like a trophy or something? That would explain why we never found it.
Then he was already dead?
I don't see any other reason why we'd be missing something like cyanide. What concerns me more is the idea that someone aside from the killer is the one who took the Rohypnol.
You can take roofies for a high though, right? So maybe...
Don't even finish that thought.
So maybe Hiroaki...
That's a really dumb idea.
Then the killer poisoned him and hauled his body upstairs, then staged the crime scene?
Finally! It was poison!
Cyanide? Jesus!
I guess the blood makes sense if he had only just taken the poison not too long before. His heart wouldn't be beating anymore, but there'd still be a lot of blood.
It's not...
How did I even get him to eat it, though?
I took the cyanide.
Kamigawa.
I took the cyanide. The killer couldn't have taken it because I had it in my room. He wasn't dead when they brought him upstairs.
Why did you have cyanide?
Because I was... Because I was going to kill myself.
Oh,
I
so
took-
that would have been the way he did it.
Get down to my room like yesterday evening. So unless they got it before that, they took the roofies, not the cyanide. Just get back to debating already. Stop staring at me like that. I'm not going to be a fucking hypocrite like Hitomi was. I said we should all tell the truth, so I'm getting it over with and telling the truth. God!
Hey, it's okay.
Then they probably knocked him out with the Rohypnol. When would they even have done it, though?
I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but could have been Tsuno? She saw him regularly in the medbay, so she would have had ample opportunity to...
You saw him regularly in the medbay too. So it could have just as easily been you. Plus, Hayashi was there for 2 days. That means it could have easily been any of you.
Excuse me?
I don't think it was you. I'm just making a point.
I wouldn't do something like...
And Tsuno would.
Nagawa's right. That argument is getting annoying. You could have. Anyone could have.
Then maybe it was Hasegawa? Since he's always...
We already exonerated him. Please keep up with the rest of the group.
What the... Hey! I'm trying! Jeez! There's just way too much to keep track of!
Well, here's an idea. Kamimura's leftovers have been sitting in the fridge for a couple days now, right?
Toshi's leftovers?
Yeah. From that big dinner Hayashi made. She made him his own special food, right? Since he can't eat a lot of stuff. Everyone else knew not to touch it or eat it, since it was Kamimura's.
He definitely would have flipped out if someone else touched his food. He made
Oh, so they're thinking that his food was spiked, possibly.
that pretty clear.
Right. So if the killer knew nobody else was gonna eat it but Kamimura, maybe they just put the Rohypnol on that.
That definitely makes sense. He went back to his room right after breakfast too. That's the last time we saw him.
Then that makes complete sense.
It totally makes sense. He ate his breakfast, got roofied, and went back to his room to pass out.
Then all they need to do is go collect him.
But how? Wouldn't he have locked the door?
They could have picked the lock.
The locks are unpickable. We already know that.
Then maybe they just broke it.
Yeah, no. Breaking the doors will get you in trouble. We know that now.
Unless your name is Watari.
Huh?
We are not starting this discussion again.
Watari's room is severely fire damaged, and yet mine receives completely disproportionate punishment for kicking one door.
Can we not?
Miss Watari's damage was caused accidentally. It was unintentional. Miss Hayashi's damage was very much intended. That is the difference.
Okay, that makes sense. And yeah,
Sake,
let it go.
Shigeki, just let it go! I already told you I was fine!
Except that you're not fine. You've
you
been
not-
acting off for days, and you were tortured just the other night.
Stop.
You can barely even walk around, and yet you insist that you're alright.
Stop.
And refuse to let me do anything.
Stop! She's fine.
To help or defend you.
Because I don't need you to help me or defend me! I need you to back the hell off!
But I don't understand why.
Because I can defend myself! I don't know why the hell you're suddenly trying to act all protective or whatever, but I don't need it!
Well, maybe I'm acting protective because you're acting completely irrational.
Stop.
I'm not!
You are. You used to be incredibly cautious.
Divorce arc right in the... Divorce arc right in the middle of a trial is crazy. How...
You used to think things through and avoid risks you didn't need to be taking. You were trying to stay alive. Now you're acting completely careless.
Stop.
You weren't being safe when you kicked down the door. You were being safe when we investigated the door trap. You weren't being thorough when we investigated the dorms. You're going to get yourself killed, and then what?
And then it'll be none of your fucking business, because you don't get to make decisions for me!
I'm not trying to make decisions for you. I'm trying to keep you alive.
I can keep myself alive! I don't don't need you to do that for me! I thought you understood that!
Jesus Christ, can you both just cram it? We're in the middle of a trial. What were we even talking about again?
The lock.
Right. The lock wasn't broken since that would get someone punished, and nobody got punished.
Then maybe he just opened the door.
He was unconscious.
Then whoever stole his key just used that?
He had already found his key. He wouldn't have been able to go back to his room without it, so we know he had it.
Then he used the 3D printed key.
If Kamimura had the blue key, he'd know someone cloned his key, and he'd know someone had his key. He never would have gone back to his room if he knew someone else could get
Unless
in.
the killer used the fake or the 3D fake key. And no, wait. I don't quite remember what they're saying now. Like I'm not sure which key either the killer or Kazutoshi had. I can't remember.
Especially since they were clearly targeting him. Now, if you're all done being dumb, can we talk about the way more obvious answer?
We're not dumb.
The killer used the blue key to get in.
Okay, that is what I thought. That's what I was trying to say.
Obviously.
That does make sense, yeah.
So if the struggle was faked, and he was already unconscious when they got there to abduct him, when did they fake the struggle? Right there and then?
That wouldn't really have been too smart. Kamimura could have woken up at any moment, so they'd probably want to get him upstairs as fast as possible, just to be sure he didn't wake up while they were still in his room. That would have been bad for them, I think.
So they broke in, kidnapped him while he was unconscious, brought him upstairs, and killed him.
I'm still somewhat confused about the key.
Go on.
Well, Kamimura's key was missing, yes? We've established that. But today is actually the first I'm hearing about it. What exactly happened?
Yesterday, when we were headed back to his room, he couldn't find it. He usually keeps it in his pocket, but it wasn't there. So he spent all day looking for it, and I helped out, but nothing. We couldn't find it.
He was pretty pissed about it.
But then he went back to his room after breakfast, right? So, when did he find the key?
The killer probably left it for him in the kitchen. They would have already been there anyway if they were poisoning his food. They left it somewhere they knew he'd spot it. Problem solved.
I still don't get how they cloned Kamimura's key at all. I mean, this 3D printer thing, it was broken, right? So even if they could steal his key, could they have printed a new one?
I mean, obviously they could, 'cause they did.
Well, yeah, but how? Who fixed the printer?
Nobody's gonna admit it. Cool, so it was the killer then.
Ojima's pretty handy, right?
No.
I mean, he fixed Wada's computer.
No, he didn't.
So couldn't he have fixed the printer?
I definitely didn't fix Masanari's computer.
Yeah, no, he didn't fix it at all. It's still super broken.
I honestly don't know anything about computers. At all. Especially fixing them.
What? Then who fixed the printer?
We should rule out the idea that it was Kamimura or Suno before we start jumping to conclusions.
It definitely wasn't Suno. She didn't know anything about computers.
It wasn't Kamimura either. I don't think he even knew we had a 3D printer.
I think it's safe to assume Kamimura didn't know anything about the blue key at all. If he had known his key had been copied, there's no way he would have been willing to go back to his room.
Wait, so if he lost the key and didn't find it again until this morning, where did he sleep last night?
My bad.
And where did you sleep?
My bad.
Oh. Get your mind out of the gutter. This, it's not what you think.
And neither of us left the room during the night, so he's accounted for.
When did they even have the time to swipe the key?
Yeah, I'm wondering
Because,
that too.
I don't know, Hasegawa and Kamimura were always together? When was he around someone else?
He visited the medical bay. But none of us took his key, I'm sure of it.
It was already missing by then anyway.
So then it had to be in the morning.
The only time we were all together in the morning was when Monomoko brought Hayashi back from the void.
The void?
That's right. We were all together for that.
I wasn't there.
So if that's when the key got swiped, it couldn't be Wada.
A lot of stuff points to it not being Wada.
Because it wasn't Wada.
There's also some canon character sexualities revealed by the creator. Izuto's asexual. Okay. Yeah, I haven't checked the creator's Tumblr for Tetro Pink yet. I keep forgetting about it.
Wada.
We were all pretty distracted then, too. Everyone was focused on Hayashi, so it would have been really easy to swipe the key right out of his pocket if you knew what you were doing.
But do we have someone like that? Do we have, like, a pickpocket in here?
We have a thief. I know that much.
It makes total sense why they swiped the key in the morning, though. I mean, they would have needed time to model and 3D print the new key, so stealing in the morning would have given them all day to do that.
And the printer's in the computer lab, right?
Right.
Then that's perfect! We just gotta figure out who was in the computer lab yesterday, and then we know who copied his key!
Except that
Hanano is intersex and non-binary, or NB.
nobody's gonna confess to it, right? Who was in the computer lab yesterday? Exactly!